So, opening off with a bit of dialogue in the tram like we saw a moment ago, and then we're going to be proceeding through into the rest stop itself for talking to the ticketing officer, and then learning that Blank and Marcus have arrived for a little bit more dialogue into a menu or two. So, a cool trick that you can do here, is you can wow your friends, is if you talk to him from like that sort of angle, and you hold down left, you can do a moonwalk. Not faster, it just looks cool. You can wow your friends. But hey, look what I can make Dagger do. It would wow me. I'd be like, wow. Can you speedrun this game? And you'd be like, no. And I'd be like, and you can do that? Incredible. Okay, so start by talking to Marcus. A little bit of dialogue. Hold down right. Talk to this gentleman here. Buy. And then the way that I like to do this menu is that we need to buy a barber and 2 mithril gloves. R1. Down, down, down. Barber. L1. Down into 2. The alternative, obviously, is you can go down to mithril gloves. R1. And then up to barber. Still got the BRB team. Oh, yeah. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Thank you. That again real quick then. Yep. I didn't know. Thank you. Yeah, so you can go R1 down to barber, L1, mithril gloves, I2. Should you wish. Into equipment. Multina racket, R1, optimize Steiner. Bird killer, and it's down, down, down. This immediately off the screen, put the man-eater on. Just hold up. And right. Talk to Steiner. To proceed. So the next boss coming up is Black Waltz 3-2. It's almost impossible to lose to Black Waltz 3-2. You have to actively attack yourself. The gimmick is that he will never attack Dagger, and then every other turn, while there's no one else alive, he'll deal 250 damage to himself. The fastest way to kill him that I've found is to get lucky and have Steiner get a preemptive. Both Dagger and Marcus can ATB weight this character, but usually only Dagger is worth it. This fight is incredibly dynamic in whether or not you should ATB weight Dagger. You should only do it if it saves you a turn. It depends on who gets preemptive and who doesn't. If I was going for this fight, I would aim to personally always try and get the weights off until I was confident in it, and then look to optimize it later on. Or just practice it and get it good from the start, who knows. But he has just over 1200 HP, and dies in about 3 turns or so. Steiner deals the most damage. If, for whatever reason, Steiner goes down really quickly, then I would suggest just suiciding Marcus, because he will deal more damage to himself than Marcus will be able to deal to him. Essentially. So start by getting ready to like mash anyone through that's preemptive. Try and get Marcus in here. No good. Alright. So I'm going to queue Dagger second. And because Marcus died here, I'm then going to be able to go for the weight. Because Marcus was in front of her, I wouldn't bother because it'd take me so long to get the weight to happen. I'm not going to bother with that anymore. So now I would opt to do the weight with Dagger. So get her through like this. Swing with Steiner. I'm not actually counting damage, but we're on about, what, 400 now? I'll mash here. Yeah, it's quite tight with Dagger. I actually missed that just then. Try and go for it again. I'm going to use Turbo because I'm feeling lazy. So probably only one more swing or so to kill him. Right, so Steiner's gone down here, which is obviously less than ideal. But what that actually means is that Steiner is going to be missing out on some bird killer AP. Fortunately for us, he gets a bit of a abundance of bird killer AP, but it is something worth noting at this point in the game. It shouldn't be an issue, but when we get to a section in Dis 2 called Castle Escape and Bandersnatches, if he's dead for too many of those fights, then it starts to become an issue. So knowing that he's gone down here, we need to try and make sure he stays alive for at least a few of them. So 2 dialogue boxes, hold up left. Come out of here. And now, so because we are not blessed with the many 100 nobles, we are going to have to pick up the extra gil on the way. If you've got nobles, you do not need to take this pickup. So come down here, get this gil. You can turn the camera around here, but to be honest, it's not too hard. Just roughly hug the edge of the mountain and you can just go down. It's worth noting that if you're not confident in your stutter steps, and Steiner and Marcus are both dead here, you may want to consider picking them up. Because if Dagger is alone here and she has bad ATB, she can just die. Once you get into Treno, you need to get through all the dialogue. And when they leave, it's going to ask if you want to do some ATEs, which case you do. You want to do the top one, you want to do Treno Tradition. This is going to help you do your power belt. It is really easy to completely lose your run. You need to make sure that you do it before you go anywhere. And then make sure you master all these text boxes so that Dagger only loses 500 gold instead of 1,000. You then need to go directly towards the auction, the smith shop. It's just up here. If you don't do it in this order, you will not get the power belt. And if you don't get the power belt, you are throwing. Power belt is too strong to not get, unfortunately, in the speedrun. So there we go. We got it. Nice. Mission complete. And then we're going to take this across town. And we're not going to get the blood swords, Steph. We won't say hi to Stella. We're going to go up past this shop here. A forced ATE is going to interrupt our flow, unfortunately. And then on the next screen in the left corner, there is even more gil. Again, if you don't have nobles, you are going to need to pick it up. If you do have nobles, you can ignore it and you can go straight into that door. Yeah. This is the way that nobles saves you time. Is if you've got nobles, you don't need to keep making all these little pickups. So it's not a single 20 or so second time save. It's lots of little ones, all adding up. So with our money, we're going to head up here and turn turbo off. In this menu, if you've got nobles, you'll buy yourself a mithril dagger. If you don't, you don't. I don't think we're going to have enough money. This. A bone wrist. Magasat. 2 bandanas. Yeah, I haven't got enough money. So if you don't have enough money, sell your tents. Not too uncommon for Petro route. You don't get nobles. You should always have at least one tent after fighting Gizmaluk. He's got a 100% chance to drop one. Which should make up the difference. I should have mentioned on the previous screen back there. Hang on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rewind for a moment. Okay, so when you leave this Treno shop, and you come past here, there is actually a tiny skip that you can do. But on this screen, when you get past this corner, hold down left. Just hold down left until you get past him. Just holding down left will allow you past. If you try and walk past him, you'll get stuck. Just holding down left, and that works on PC too. Alright, skip forward through this shit. Okay, so time for a dynamic menu. It's one of the hardest menus because it changes. So the first thing you want to do is go to Met Marcus and equip the bandana. It's always going to be in slot 3. L1 over to Steiner. Optimize him to get this mithril sword and the power belt on him. Make sure that if you do accidentally optimize Marcus, that you take the power belt and the mithril sword off of him. Do not let him run off with them. I think if you optimize him, it gives him lots of shit. Yeah, it gives him a lot of shit. I actually can't remember what he was wearing, so I'm just going to undo that. So you'll optimize Steiner, and then if you're level 2, so the menu, the way around this menu is always the same. So level 2 will go HP 10, R1, R1 to alert, L1 right to MP attack, and you heal if you need it. If you put HP 10 on, you'll always need to heal. If you're level 3, it looks a little bit differently. If you're level 3, you don't put HP 10 on, you go to counter, R1, L1, and you go to MP attack. And then, if needed, heal. If you're level 2, though, you want to have HP 10 on. Ultimately, no matter what, you're always equipping an MP attack. But if you're level 2, you're putting HP 10 and alert on. And if you're level 3, you're putting a counter on. It's not because crystals don't allow it. You can always equip whatever you want. But when you're level 2, your HP is quite a lot lower. And it's more suggested to have the HP 10 equipped instead. Usually because if you get attacked, you're probably going to die without it anyway. Once again, if you didn't get nobles, you'll need to make an extra pickup here. We're going to grab this mithril dagger. If you got the nobles, you need to have made sure that you bought it from the store. Additionally, if you did manage to steal it from Sea Lion, you don't need to do either of those because you've stolen one. Bit of a mash. Be careful, Top plays cards. And he really loves playing cards. Once this dialogue's done, we need to climb up the ladder and then go down the hatch. Cool. Now we're into Gargan Roo. Gargan Roo is pretty straightforward. You want to start by holding down left and just weaving around this corner to go down here. In this screen, you want to hold left and then hold up left and up. There aren't any encounter checks to skip, just don't get too lost. As for encounters here, they can actually be quite useful. So you can't actually flee here. If you get into a battle, it's recommended that you just kill it. Marcus is basically useless, so I would just tell him to defend. Steiner can't actually kill these guys in one hit. So you'll always need Dagger to help out. Dagger actually deals half good damage because all of her rackets are amplified by wind damage amplifiers, which is why we bought her a feather hat in the early game. They allow her to deal a little bit extra damage, and it's one of those basic attacks that isn't affected by row, so she's actually not too bad. In this screen, you want to hold upright into right. Make sure you keep it nice and tight, or else you can get an extra check like that. Getting encounters in this area is somewhat uncommon. The double crawlers, they're good experience again. You don't necessarily need more experience. Oh dear, people are going down. Dagger has a turn here. I'm going to use a Phoenix down. Make sure that I don't game over. So I'm going to wait and see what he does. He's crit me, of course. I'm going to try and get a flea here. Right, it doesn't look like we're getting away. Someone's going to die. Yeah. So because Steiner is still waiting for him, we can just drop a Phoenix down here. We don't lose too much time by going for that. Likewise, because Dagger's already received some experience, if we decide to funnel more of it onto Steiner by not reviving her there, then that's also an option. So Steiner's really big now. I'm going to go ahead and heal now by using Dagger's Cure. All R1 to target everyone. If you're really fussed about it, you can take the time to go ahead and equip counter, but I wouldn't. It's one of those, it's like the leather wrist argument. Technically it could save you time, but you're going to spend a couple seconds doing it and it may just not help you at all. You want to dip back into this room here to split the screen. And then once you've done that, you shouldn't be able to get any more encounters by holding right, down right, sorry, into left, just mashing until you get to the switch. So I am going to count damage on Ralvurahva because this one's kind of important. He's got 2,292 HP. Steiner is our primary damage dealer. Then it's Dagger, followed by Marcus, who just kind of deals a bit of chip damage here and there. Because we're so strong, we don't need to worry about... we won't really die. But what can happen in this encounter, only if you're leveled up, is that you can be poisoned. And if two of your characters get poisoned, he will then cast Night and try and sleep all of you. That can just get you killed. Because spells like Blizzara won't wake you up. Only physical attacks like Devil Kiss, I believe, wake you up. I think String may as well. I'm not sure. So if you end up getting two people slept, I would kill whoever deals least amount of damage. Have them suicide. Rather than using remedies, just have them suicide. Usually if you're getting two people poisoned, it's because you killed encounters as well. If you get Devil Kiss to level 1, you just die. You don't have time to take poison damage. So I'll take the preempt with Dagger. That should be like 243. We'll queue Steiner first here. Then wait for Dagger to come back round. Get these guys queued in. 516, very nice. 52 again. 152. So he's got 1100 HP left. So we're going to need at least 2 Steiner swings here. So before queuing anyone else, I'm going to check for crits. I want to see if Steiner accidentally crits the attack here. 516. So I'm going to swing with Dagger. But I'm going to leave Marcus open. Because... Wait, was I poisoned? Oh, I was poisoned. I didn't even realize. Oh, shit. I'm sure I'll be okay. I hope I'm okay. I didn't even realize. Okay, this is what you shouldn't do. I didn't even notice that 2 of my characters were poisoned. Oh, no. Marcus? Okay. So I'll get him to Phoenix down Dagger and try and keep me in the fight for a little bit longer. I think that's on Dagger. Ooh, wake up, Steiner. Wake up. There we go. And this should be lethal. That was pretty risky. that was pretty close. Be careful. So that's what happens when you don't suicide you guys that get poisoned. I wasn't paying attention to that. That was very silly of me. But ultimately the fight is pretty straightforward. What you'll end up doing more often than not is not getting loads of encounters and not having huge bodies. And when that happens, you want to prioritize Steiner attacks, and then your other characters are going to be picking each other up or healing Steiner. Marcus, even at a low level, should be able to survive Blizzara thanks to the bandana. Dagger will probably just die to everything. And Steiner should be able to survive strings and poison bites, or Devil's Kiss, sorry. But if he's not level 3 with if he's not level 3, then he can just die to Blizzaras even at level 3. Blizzaria hits up to 189 on Steiner, so those can just kill you.